While those are going around, a couple other announcements. We do have response cards on your sheet. It's a little light green or yellow card or whatever. If you're visiting with us this morning for the first time, we'd love for you to just fill those out and leave those on your chair. Those are just to help us know who's here and how we can best meet your needs. So feel free to do that. And for the college students, welcome back. Welcome to school. We've got a lot of events this upcoming week as a campus ministry. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., we're going to meet at the Campanile for some glow-in-the-dark capture the flag. Wednesday night, we're going to meet at the volleyball courts for a cookout and some volleyball. And then Friday night, we're going to meet at the Union at 7:30 for our first devotional, campus devotional for the year. So bring your friends out to any and all of it. Make plans to attend. It's going to be a lot of fun. But it's great to have you here if you are visiting with us. My name is Willie O'Quinn. I lead with my wife the Campus and Young Professionals Ministry. I serve as an evangelist here at Free State, and it's just great to be back. Okay, so I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this Sunday for a while. But I remember a few years back, I had moved up here from Dallas. Hey, that's right. And I moved up here to play football. And I had a lot on my mind. I was really nervous. I was really excited. And I had no clue what to expect. And I got pulled into the campus ministry here. And it changed my life. This time of year is very exciting. But for a Christian, it can also be very distracting. And so my lesson today is in preparation for that, for all the distractions that will come our way in the upcoming days and weeks and months. Amen? I remember I came to college. I was a religious kid. I grew up going to church all the time. But I didn't know how to quite live like a Christian on my own yet. I had a girlfriend, I was playing football, I was taking classes, and I was calling myself a Christian, but I don't know if I can confidently say that I was loving the Lord with all my heart, that I was pursuing Him and seeking Him with all my heart. And I remember sitting at the McDonald's on 23rd Street with Ken Long, he leads the church here, and he just sat me down, and I was struggling with wanting to do things my way and wanting to do things the way that Jesus laid it out in the Scriptures. Right. And I remember Ken just saying, well, Willie, you just got to decide, are you going to do it your way or are you going to be a Christian? Changed my life. And for some of us in here this morning, you're going to come to that same crossroads where you're having to decide, are you going to do things your way or are you going to be a Christian? Are you going to be a disciple of Jesus? And so this morning, that's what we are going to talk about. The title of my lesson is Fisher of Fish. And this is part one of a two-part message. Next week is part two. So today, part one is just a hook to get you to come back next week. It's encouraging to see the room almost full this morning. We're outgrowing our building, so we actually have a group right now that's worshiping, that we are connected with directly, that's worshiping in Topeka, and a group that's worshiping out in Manhattan and in Kansas City. So we're here with about 150 strong worshiping God, but we're worshiping with a few hundred of our brothers and sisters around the area down I-70. So that's encouraging. Turn over to Matthew chapter 4. All right. We're going to start in verse 18.
Amen.
Go, Willie.
There's a question that I want to throw out there for us to ask ourselves over these next 2 weeks. That question is, how much is a fish worth? How much is a fish worth? Starting in verse 18. As Jesus was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon called Peter and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. At once they left their nets and followed him. Going on from there, he saw two brothers, James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John. They were in a boat with their father Zebedee, preparing their nets. Jesus called them, and immediately they left the boat and their father and followed him. You know, the word about Jesus, about this supposed Messiah, had been spreading around. And he goes up to these few men, and he picks them. He throws them out this invitation. Hey, come follow me. At that moment, those men had to make a decision. There was something that Jesus was calling them from, and there was something Jesus was calling them to. Amen. Today we're going to be talking about what he was calling them from, and like I said, the title of my message is Fisher of Fish. You know, these men were faced with a tough decision. If they were going to follow Jesus, what that meant was leaving behind their family, leaving behind their livelihood, their career, leaving behind the comfort of their hometown, leaving behind the way that they like to do things and the way that they like to think. In essence, leaving behind control of their life. This morning, maybe you're here for the first time. Maybe you've been here for several months or several years. The same decisions before us. Right. What are we going to do? Are we going to leave behind the comfort of control, or are we going to follow Jesus? But here's the deal. At the end of the day, whatever it is that you might be conflicted with, leaving behind, whether it's a girlfriend, control, material possessions, fame, success, popularity, whatever it is, at the end of the day, it's all fish. Right. At the end of the day, it's all fish. So I ask you again, how much is a fish worth? You know, Katie and I and her side of the family, we went on a vacation a couple weeks back. It was great. We never go on vacation as a family, or we never go anywhere adventurous, right? There are a lot of staycations, stuff like that. So we had planned, hey, let's go to the Lake of the Ozarks. We planned this for, pretty far out in advance, and we were all so excited because we've never gotten to do something like that. So for months, it had been, this summer, it was just so hot and humid and nasty outside. So I was just counting down the days just to be floating out in the lake, riding a jet ski, riding on the boat, whatever. I just could not wait. And we were all so excited, but Katie's dad doesn't like the water. He's afraid of the water. He doesn't like the ocean because he watches Shark Week all the time. But then he doesn't like the lake because you can't see in the water. So So we're all excited to get in this water for, months leading up to this. What's Mike excited about? He's excited to go fishing. I mean, he's talking for months about fishing. Every time we're over there, hey, where's Mike at? Oh, he went to Dick's. He's getting some fishing lure. He's getting some. We've got 2 months to go, and he's already setting up his fishing poles, and he's just so excited. And so we get there, and I'm not exaggerating this at all, okay? I know preachers exaggerate stories. I'm not exaggerating this one. I wake up at 7 in the morning. Mike would not go near the water the whole week. I think Kaylee got in, and she didn't cry, so he was like, okay, my granddaughter will get in, I'll get in. He got in for a second, and then that was it. I wake up at 7 in the morning. Where's Mike? Oh, he's been out on the dock fishing since about 6 in the morning. Okay, midnight. We're all going to bed. Hey, where's Mike? Oh, he slipped out to go set out some set lines on the dock so overnight he could go fishing. All week long, from sun up to sundown. Hey, where's Mike? Oh, there he is on the back of the boat fishing. He did not catch a thing, okay? The whole week, he didn't catch one thing. He didn't even have a nibble, not even a nibble. We were making fun of him all week long. Hey, Mike, where are you going? Oh, I'm going out through my set lines. Oh, what are you doing, Mike? Why are you getting your hopes up? He just got desperate at one point. He started just trying everything he could find to hook onto a lure to throw out there. Kaylee had a little Lunchable. He would take the little nasty lunch meat, stick it on the end, throw it out there. Let me melt down some M&Ms and try to stick it onto everything you can think of. He was trying. The whole week goes by, okay? The last day, we're sitting there, and we're on the dock. And he's like, oh, one of my set lines looks kind of funny. It was kind of wrapped under the dock, and we're like, all right, give it a rest, man. We were making fun of him. And he pulls out, and then this is what he pulled out. It was the biggest catfish I'd ever seen in my life. About this big. I'm not kidding you. And he was so fired up. You could look, this thing's mouth was about this wide, and you could just look down and see all the anatomy of this fish. It was just unbelievable. And it made his vacation. We all put our foot in our mouth. It was unbelievable. But my question, how much is a fish worth? This one costs about 80 hours of vacation, and in most markets, it would sell for maybe $5. And so I started thinking about, I started, of course, doing some research about a fish, about different fish. How valuable are some fish? Okay, so we start looking. This one, all right, the blade-fin basslet, you can see his finger there, $10,000. That's how much this fish sells for in markets. $10,000. Exactly. The peppermint angelfish, worth $30,000.
What?
About the size of a silver dollar. All right? The arowana. This fish, I read these articles on this thing, all right? This thing is one of the most rare fish in all of Asia. It's so rare that there are organized crime rings for this fish. There's a black market for this fish, and they sell for upwards of $400,000. It's about 2 to 3 feet long. Bluefin tuna. Okay, wicked tuna, right? All right. Recently, there was one caught in Japan. It weighed 500 pounds. It sold for $3,600 a pound, $1.8 million at a Japanese market for some sushi. You can go get a piece of sushi with that fish on it for about $50. And so I'm reading this. Right? I'm reading all this, I'm studying all this, and I'm like, man, this is so stupid. They're fish. People are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on these fish, and I'm sitting here with a good portion of my days reading about them, and they're going to make their way into my sermon. This is so stupid. How dumb are fish? They're so dumb, they never leave school. I've been playing around with what the reaction was going to be after that joke. I was pleased with it. You know what? It's no wonder that Peter, his brother, James and John, left their nets immediately to follow Jesus. And when you simplify it down, we can try to complicate it. Oh, they were leaving behind their livelihood and their families and the comfort of their hometown. No. This decision was to follow Jesus or to fish. When you break it down to its simplest form, don't try to make it more complicated than it is. How dumb would it have been for those guys to pass up that opportunity for some stinky fish? And it's no different for us. Because at the end of the day, it's all fish. Well, Willie, my boyfriend isn't a fish. I love him. This is real love. Hey, he is a fish, all right? I've smelled him. He's a fish. And guess what? That boyfriend's not going to be cuddling with you in hell or holding your hand there. It's all fish. Well, Willie, I just want to come to college and enjoy the typical college experience. It was so sad. We usually each year, our campus ministry, we volunteer to help freshmen move into the dorms. And so Katie and I, this was last school year, we get there, we're helping people move in and all this stuff, and these parents are moving in these bean bags. And they're kind of joking around, yeah, we got them chairs that don't sit high off the ground so that when they're drunk, they won't pass out and fall off the chair too high. Man, I'm so excited for my kids to get to experience the college life that I had. I was just sitting there like, man, this is so sad. But it's so normal. Yeah. So let me get this straight. you're going to pass up an opportunity to follow Jesus so that you can go out with a bunch of people you don't know, have really loud music playing in the background, have a bunch of sweaty strangers rubbing up on you, drink a beverage until you have a really bad headache the next morning you don't remember it. Really? Like that's the appeal? Well, Willie, those guys were fishermen. I'm studying medicine. I want to be a doctor. Well, there's no health problems in heaven, so I don't know how far that degree's worth. You know, there's a guy I was studying with a few years back. We studied the Bible. He saw what it meant to be a real Christian and what it was going to take. We were kind of at that crossroads, and he sat there and was like, you know what, Willie? I just don't have time. I don't have time, maybe later on in life. But I just think I'm going to have to pass. And so I was like, why? Well, I just don't have time. I'm here to get my degree, and that's what I've got to focus on right now. And so okay, what's your plan? You're going to throw this away to get an engineering degree. Let's say you get a great degree, then what? Well, then I guess I'll get a job. That was his response. Okay, so you get a job, then what? I'll pay off my debt. Okay, so you pay off, so then what? Maybe get married, have some kids. Okay, great, you get married, you have some kids, then what? Buy a nice house, settle down. Okay, you do that, then what? And these were his words. I guess just grind it out until I retire. And then what? That's what I asked him. Then what? You grind it out, you retire, maybe travel. Okay, you travel, you see the world, then what? I guess that's it. Then I die. And then what? So you're going to pass up an opportunity to follow Jesus for a piece of paper, a job, to make money, which is more paper. You get married, you have kids, you get a house, you grind it out till you retire, you travel, and then you die. That is what you're deciding. Don't make it more complicated or fancy than it is. At the end of the day, it's all fish. Right. Turn over to 1 John chapter 2, and we're going to read verse 15. Amen. We're going to be wrapping it up here soon. I don't have a long message, but it gets the point across pretty clear. Yes. Chapter 5. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 John chapter 2. I was right. Verse 15. It says, do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. For everything in the world, lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, the pride of life, everything in the world comes not from the Father, but from the world. The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever. Amen. How much is a fish worth? Is it worth your salvation? Is it worth your salvation? You can say you're a Christian. You can say you love God. But according to God, if you love the world, if you're looking for your worth and your purpose and your passion from things of this world, if you're pursuing the temporary things of this world with all your heart and your focus and your energy and your effort, not only is it all going to pass away, but it says you don't love God. You can call yourself, you can say till you're blue in the face how much you love God. But if you love the world, what's God say? Love for me is not in you. And it's all going to pass away. How much is a fish worth? Little demonstration here. I've done it before. Probably a lot of you guys have seen it. We got this rope here, right? Got a long rope. Okay? Let's say all this orange represents eternity. This little piece right here represents our time on this earth. Okay? I want you to imagine that. So many of us spend all our time focusing on what? You're in college. That's what, like here? Or maybe you're out of college. Maybe you're in your career. Maybe you're working toward retirement here. Now, the scriptures are clear. What you do here is going to determine what happens here for the rest of your life, right? You're going to throw away all this for that. I want you to think about that. As the semester starts, as classes start, as you're at your job, as you got things going on in life. Hey, I know life is busy. Trust me, I almost went insane this week, okay? I get having kids, and it's crazy. But why would you think about this and live for this rather than living for all this?
Amen.
That's what we're deciding here. If you're visiting with us today, if you're a member here at Free State, if you've been coming to church your whole life, whatever it is, maybe you're at the place where you've got to make this decision. Maybe you're at the crossroads. Maybe you're about to approach the crossroads and you don't know it yet because you're new to school and you're not used to all the things that the world's going to throw at you. Maybe you decided to give everything up and follow Jesus a long time ago, but you've forgotten if it's worth it or not. Wherever you're at,
right?
It's all fish. Do not love the world. Do not pass up an opportunity to follow Jesus for that little piece. It's all fish. It's all going to pass away. As my dad would say, it's all going to burn.
Right.
Do not love the world. Now, next week, today we talked about what we're being called from. We're being called from fish.
Right.
But we're being called to something even greater. And that's what we're going to talk about next week. Next week we're going to be talking about being fishers of men, not fishers of fish. If you're visiting with us for the first time, thank you so much for coming out. I'm going to go ahead and close this off in a prayer, and then we'll close our service out with another song. Father, thank you so much for this morning. God, thank you for bringing us here together.